All right, shalom, 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 shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rachak, Wadash, double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, which are the men that rule well, the men that taught us His truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations as always be to the elect. All right, and real quick, man, quick lesson, man. I'm in transit right now. Salakia. I'm in transit right now. I wanted to make this quick lesson through the Spirit, man. Put this on D&D. All right. Mainly, the inspiration of this lesson comes from the Hebrew that we got to do for the week here at the DC Church, man. Psalm 71 and 2. And that's pretty much what inspired this lesson. I was meditating on this precept today while I was at the plantation. And now that I'm on the way home, another precept came to mind. So I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and do an exhortation on it. Because at the end of the day, these are the scriptures that we need, all right, to remember. These are the scriptures that we're going to remember, all right, when that time of trouble is here, man. All right. And we're going to sound like a broken record when it comes down to these exhortations because, these things need to be repeated and these things need to be said, all right, for the comfort of our own minds, all right? The scriptures say in Romans 15 and 4 that whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So these are the scriptures that are going to comfort us and give us hope, all right, because I was listening to some lessons on the way to work, all right? And, we in them times, man. We in the times where, evil and only evil has come, the scriptures say. We in the times, we're at the end of the end times, man. We're at the times where the MOT to the B is right around the corner. We're at the times where World War III is right around the corner, okay? And we're also in the times where JT, a.k.a. Jacob's Trouble, is right around the corner as well, man. We're at the beginning stages of it. The stage is set, man, all right? We're an event or two or a few events away, all right, from these things taking place. We're not too far from the president locking shit up. We're not too far from the elites pulling the trigger to just lock down every major city. We're not too far from that next pandemic. Okay? So, let me start off in Psalm 71 and 2. It says, "Deliver me in thy righteousness and cause me to escape. Incline thine ear unto me and save me." Beautiful. And these are the things that we're going to be remembering, man. These are the things that are going to come to mind, all right, when we're faced with dangerous situations, when we're in that time of trouble. And, the only thing you can do is call upon the name of Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai. The scriptures say in the book of Proverbs that the name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous runneth into it and is safe. So this is a beautiful thing right here, man. Deliver me in thy righteousness and cause me to escape. What are we going to escape? The grasp, the hand of Esau. The scriptures speak about how he's going to deliver us from the snare of the fowler. And that's poetically talking about what? Us escaping the hunter, Esau. When you go into Old Testament, right? When you go into the book of Genesis, what did he say? He said, "Oh, then will I slay my brother Jacob." That was very spiritual. It was a very spiritual reason why that was written down, because that mindset never went away. That wasn't only for the book of Genesis. That was for us to read in this generation and apply that to life today. Esau is the hunter, and he's trying to hunt us. Okay? Why do you think these different things were written? Why do you think the Lord had these different Psalms of David and the Psalms by various writers? Why do you think that he had them be written? So that in these times we could have them as well. When David went through his turmoil, now we can, when he went through his trials and his tribulations, now we can use the Psalms that he wrote in his distress, and we can read them and apply them to our lives. Because when you're calling upon the name of the Lord, you ain't going to be worried about the intricate breakdowns of the scriptures. You're going to be worried about this, Psalm 71 and 2. And I'm going to read Isaiah 59 and 19 as well. All right, so it says, "Incline thine ear unto me and save me." And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be saying, "Lord, please hear me and save me." All right, but guess what? The hope is that the divine intervention will happen. So this is Isaiah 59 and 19, and it says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood." What does that remind you of? The enemy shall come in like a flood. Revelation 12 and 12. So when the enemy comes in like a flood, a.k.a. when Esau decides to, just go ahead and put the hammer down. The scriptures say in 2 Ezra, the 16th chapter, that they shall be like madmen sparing none. Towards the end of that chapter, It gives you more details on how Jacob's trouble is going to be. And in chapter 15, the chapter prior, what does it say? A man shall desire to go into a city, shall not be able. Those are the times that we're heading into. You see, that's the life that we're heading into. Right now, it's the season of waking up, going to work, going home, studying, reading, and then going to do the work on the weekends or whenever you go out to preach the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? Well, at some point in time, that's going to be disrupted by what? The rest of the prophecies. You see, Isaiah 19, where it speaks about us having the altar in Egypt, even that was for a season. Us being out here teaching the words of the Lord, making these epistles, the virtual epistles, even that was for a season. All right, and that season is coming to a close. We can see it. Because what does the scripture speak about? The scripture speak about in the book of Ezra as well, how wit shall hide itself, all right, and understanding shall withdraw itself into a secret place. You know, the scriptures speak about the land being barren of faith and things of that nature. You know, all these different scriptures about famine of the word. There's so many precepts on the famine of the word. It's not just Amos, the 8th chapter, 8 and 11. Nah, man, there's a lot of precepts to talk about it. Second Ezra, the 5th chapter goes into it. How salt water shall be found in the sweet. You know, meaning that what? People going to dig into the scriptures and it's going to be nothing but bitter to them. You know, to them it's going to be sealed. Okay? Hey, the book of Amos is heavy, man. I brought out some precepts this past Saturday in the book of Amos, man. There's a lot of good prophecy, a lot of heavy scriptures in the book of Amos. That's why you can't call these different books, like they call the book of Obadiah a minor prophet. Ain't nothing minor about these prophets, man. Okay? So I'm going to read this again, Isaiah 59 and 19. It's lucky if there's a lot of noise. Like I said, I'm in transit. You know, I'm driving through a city. Very, very, the terrain is crazy out here, man. There's a lot of potholes and shit like that. You know, pardon my language. But it says, Isaiah 59 and 19, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west and his glory from the rising of the sun. Yeah, from the east to the west, they're going to fear the name of Yahweh Yahweh Shai, right? When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai shall lift up a standard against him. So that means that the spirit of the Lord, when the enemy comes in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to lift up a standard against Esau. Okay? That's the thing. The scriptures say, they that fear the Lord, you that fear the Lord, ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and everlasting joy and mercy. So we're supposed to hope for the good things to happen when the evil comes, because that's balance. You know? Scriptures say a false balance is an abomination to the Lord. You don't think the Lord is going to balance out the evil by bringing forth that standard? And that's going to be that spiritual power. That's going to be that divine intervention where the angels are going to manifest physically and we're going to see them slay our enemies and things like that. Those are the things that we're hoping for. And that's not far-fetched, man. That's not in the movies. That's really from the scriptures. See, that's the thing. Esau took it from the scriptures and put it in the movies. Like when the angel visited Samson's parents. What did he do? He hopped on the altar and turned it to fire. Those things come from the scriptures. That, you know, when you see it happen in the movies, that came from the Holy Bible, man. Okay? So these things are not far-fetched. And the scriptures even speak about in the book of Wisdom of Solomon the strangeness of our salvation. You know, and it is going to be strange to these people. You know, to them it's going to be strange. To us it's going to be glorious. It's going to be magnificent. It's going to be amazing. Because we read the scriptures already. We know that our forefathers were lifted up by chariots. So why would it be far-fetched for it to happen to some of us in this generation? It's not. It's not far-fetched at all. All right? Nothing is far-fetched, man. Okay? Nothing is, unordinary. To these people, maybe. But to us, man, this is a beautiful thing. Us having that spiritual intervention. All right? Us being delivered by the Spirit. Imagine a chariot picking you up from one location and dropping you off to another. For the sake of it being written and for the sake of you being delivered. You see? That's the times that we're heading into, and those are the things that we're meditating on when we read these precepts. You know? David leaped over a wall. What's so far-fetched from one of the men of the Lord doing it in these times? He had mighty men that slew hundreds of men by themselves. What's so far-fetched about it happening now? It's not. That's the thing. Okay? Ain't nothing impossible. You know, the scriptures say that nothing's impossible with the Lord. All right, so the mindset is that Psalm 71 and 2, you know, cause me to escape. That's what's being said. You know, Lord, please cause me to escape out of the grasps of Esau. And the times that we're heading into, those are the things that we're going to be preaching. That's what we're going to be praying, Salakia. All right, and incline that ear unto me and save me. All right. So, hey, that's all I wanted to bring out real quick through the Spirit, man. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahabushai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors unto my elders and my apostles of Great Millstone, which are the men that rule well and that taught us his truth. And of course, always, man, peace, blessings, and salutations as always be to thee.